All right, so let's get started. So first off, we want to welcome you to the program. Congratulations on receiving an offer to business. It's pretty cool that you guys all got early admission. That means you're all fairly strong students, and we're very excited to have you. So the business undergrad office is the office you'll be interacting with the most as a business student. Currently, we're offering Google Meet e-advising by appointment. Our appointments are currently full until the end of March, but we do have some available in April, and keep checking back as well because we're going to be opening some more appointments as the weeks go on. We're located in 220 Business Building, so come September, you'll be able to visit us. And if you have any questions throughout your time, you can always send us an email at ugradbus@ualberta.ca. So in today's webinar, I'm going to cover 3 parts. First, I'm going to talk about an overview of the program, just the basics that you need to know as a BCom student. Then I'm going to talk about your transfer credit report, your what if report, which is what you're going to use for degree planning. Then I'll talk about registration information, the cohort program, and some tips and tricks to wrap it up. So, program overview. For the BCom General program, this is for students that did not have a previous degree. It's 120 credits, so 40 courses. This means that any of the courses that transferred in, you'll need to do more courses in addition to that, to a total of 40. Most students will complete the degree in 4 or 5 years, but we do give you 8 years to complete the degree as a maximum. You can take a maximum of 7 100 level electives. So this does not include things like your math, stat, econ, English, those pre-professional courses that you took. Those do not count in that total. It's just the additional courses like sociology or something like that that you might have taken. So a maximum of 7 100 levels throughout your entire degree. If you're a general BCom student, the maximum amount of transfer credit that we will allow is 60 credits, so 20 courses. And once you're admitted, all of your courses have to be completed here, unless you're going on an exchange program abroad. Then we have our after degree program. So it's a little bit different. This one is for students who have already completed a bachelor's degree. So I know in today's webinar, we have some after degree students and we have some BCom general students. These after degree students will take 45 to 60 credits, which is about 15 to 20 courses, and they'll generally complete the degree in 2 to 2.5 years. But again, the maximum time limit is 8 years to complete your degree. Everyone is allowed to take breaks in our program. You just have to let us know by emailing us. And once you're admitted, again, all courses need to be completed here. All right, so the session is going to be a little bit interactive. So you're all on a computer today or on your phone. So if you can log into BearTracks now and on the left-hand side, click Transfer Credit Report. I just want to go over what that's going to look like for you, give you a sense of what transfer credits you've received to the program thus far, and then we can build on that to figure out how many courses you need to complete and what those will be. So when you click Transfer Credit Report, you're going to select Fall of 2020, Bachelor of Commerce, and then View Report. Just a note here, if you're an after degree student, you're not going to see a transfer credit report, or if you have one, it's not going to have any transfer credits listed. That's not nothing to worry about. There's no problem there. But if you're a BCom general student, go in, you'll see what courses have transferred from past programs and what's transferred from another institution. So I'm going to go over some examples of what that would look like, but I encourage you to be looking at this as well at the same time. So at the top of the transfer credit report, it's going to show you what major you're in, what major you've declared, or if you have a minor, it will show there as well. This will be fall term of 2020. And then it will show granted credit in whatever below. So if you've only ever been to the U of A, you're just going to see granted credit in all courses successfully completed at the university, such and such dates, and it will show you the number of credits you've received. So this is for a U of A student. Now, if you're a student who's at the U of A, but we haven't granted all of your transfer credits, you might see something like this at the bottom here that says, with the exception of. And if you're a student that is from an outside institution, or you've been granted any external credits to the program, you'll see something like this. So it will list the courses that you've taken. This student took courses at NATE, accounting 1,115, transfers to accounting 311, 3 credits, and any notes for the transferability of that class is listed there as well. On the right-hand side, you can see the credit status. It should say posted, or it might say rejected if the course was not transferable. Okay. All right, so now that we know the transfer credit report, I am just going to pause for a second. If there are any questions, put them in the chat. If your transfer credit report is not showing, put that in the chat as well. We'll look into it for you. We'll make sure it's all set up correctly. But I'll just give just a minute or so here. Make sure we're all on the same page. Bianca asked what if you added courses in the spring summer? Definitely the spring summer will be included in your transfer credit assessment if the courses are transferable, but we won't do that until your final admission offer is sent. So your final admission offer will probably be May, June, and that's when we'll look at those courses that you've registered in for spring summer to make sure they're transferable. Later on in the presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about the spring summer courses and what's transferable and what's not, so we can get to that as well. Some of my wonderful colleagues are also answering some questions for you too. If you've taken more than 7 100 level courses, that's not a problem. It just means you're not going to get transfer credit for anything that's above those 7. So you should see that reflected in your transfer credit report as well. It would say with the exception of such and such a course. Okay, so I'm going to let my colleagues kind of go through some of those other questions for you while I'm talking. And I'll move on to your online degree planner. This might answer some of the questions you already have in there actually. So again, interactive. So I encourage you right now to go to Bear Tracks and on the left-hand side, click What If Report. Your What If Report is going to show you all of the courses that you need to take. And it's going to show you what you've received credit for and where all those fit within the program. So when you click What If Report, you're then going to click Create a New Report. And it's important that every time you go in that you create a new report. If you don't create a new report, you're not going to see any of the updates that you've made with your registration. So if you register in something else that's different, you're not going to see that reflected in the report unless you create a new one. So do that every time you come in. Then you're going to see a bunch of drop-down menus. First thing you're going to do, select Fall Term of 2020. Do that first so you don't forget. Okay, you were admitted to business in fall of 2020. That's what you're going to go in every time you pull your What If report and put fall term 2020. Then in the first row, you want your major. So whatever major was in your transfer credit report, or if you want to change your major, whatever major you want to look at the requirements for, that's what you would put here. So your first row should say BC Bachelor of Commerce, then your major, and then none. Your second row, if you have a minor, should say BC Bachelor of Commerce, the minor, and none. If you do not have a minor, all that you need to do is leave the second row at none. If you were currently a U of A student and you're in the Faculty of Arts, for example, some of your Faculty of Arts information is going to be listed here. You want to get rid of all of that as you're pulling this What If report. You just want to see the Bachelor of Commerce information, just so that you can see the requirements for that program specifically. Just note, if you're an after degree student, you're going to want to put BC Bachelor of Commerce with AD at the end in order to pull the report correctly. So this is what it would look like if you do not have a minor. If you don't have a minor, you put none all the way across. And then you'll click Submit Request. Okay. So when you've submitted your request, you've just got that business information in there. You've just put the business major, maybe the business minor. You're going to see this report that comes up. This is what we call your online degree planner. There's a bunch of green bars that are going to be listed. It's going to show a bunch of information. The first part's got some just general stuff about the report. It's designed to assist you in determining completion of progress towards your degree requirements. We still want you to come in and meet with us. We still want you to come and chat with an advisor, but this is just handy because it updates in real time as you change your registration. As long as you create a new report, you'll see everything that you've registered in and making sure that it fits your program and degree requirements. At the top here, there's a current BCom student page link. You're going to want to click that and bookmark it. It's got pretty much everything you'd want to know as a BCom student. Anytime you need to reference anything, go to this site first. It's probably got an answer to your question. Then the next section you're going to see is program-specific information when you scroll down. It'll show your Bachelor of Commerce or Bachelor of Commerce after degree. It'll show the major that you're running this what if report for, the year that you're currently in, the number of transfer credits that you've received, and then there is this disclaimer about spring summer classes. So someone had asked earlier about spring summer classes. You can take them. Just make sure that you're not going to exceed the 60 credit maximum limit and that you're not going to exceed the 21 credits of 100 levels. The next section below that talks about whether you're a cohort or a non-cohort student. So if you're a cohort student, you're going to see the above. If you're a non-cohort student, you're going to see the below. I'm going to come back to this later on, so just make sure that you remember what you were, whether you're a cohort or a non-cohort student. Remember that. The next section is the registered courses. So it's going to show you everything you're currently enrolled in. If you click when, the words when, it will order them alphabetically. So it won't do it chronologically, but if you're registered in any spring summer classes, it's going to put the spring up first because it's an S, and then the winter term classes below. Just keep in mind that anything that you're registered in is included in the report. It is filling spaces already. All right, so everything below the registered courses section down is all the courses that you need to complete in order to graduate. So every single thing in that report has to be completed in order for you to graduate. At the first bar, you'll see pre-professional coursework. Anytime you see a closed arrow, it means that you've completed the section or you have something in registration that will complete that section. An open arrow means you have to complete something within the section still. So anytime you see a green bar, there's a list of courses underneath of it. If the green bar is closed, you've registered in something that completes it, or you've already completed those courses. If the green bar is open, you need to complete whatever's underneath of it. I think, oh yeah, I'll note too, every course at the university generally is a 3-credit course. That's why it's going to say 3 units required. 3 credits equals 1 course. So every time you see a unit value, you'll take that, divide it by 3 to get the number of courses that you need to take. The next part you're going to see is the primary core courses. So primary core courses are courses that are required for all students, regardless of the major. They're introductory. They give you the foundational knowledge that you need to take the higher level courses. Then the secondary core courses, these are not the same for everybody. So depending on your major, you might see all of these listed here. You might not. Whatever you need to complete for your major under the secondary core courses, you need to do before you graduate. They're the prerequisites for other courses. So you might want to take them earlier rather than later. We'll discuss a little bit of that in the registration section in terms of course sequencing. Then you'll see your major requirements. So this was an example of an accounting major. You'll note that this student has already completed or registered in accounting 414, 415, 424, because those arrows are showing as closed, whereas they still need to complete the senior accounting electives. Then you'll see non-business electives. If you're an after-degree student, you're not going to see these because you've already completed the electives in your previous degree. But for everyone else, non-business electives are required. You'll need 21 credits in this major. It's going to vary depending on your major, so look at yours for the total that you need to complete. This student has taken Sociology 100 and was registered in Spanish 111. You can see 21 minus 6 credits equals 15 credits. So this student still needs to complete 15 more credits in non-business electives. Then you've also got free electives. Free electives are any course offered from any faculty, business or non-business. A lot of people always ask, what's the difference between a non-business elective and a free elective? So a non-business elective is something that's not offered by the faculty. Not offered by the faculty of business, but any other faculty on campus. Whereas a free elective could be business, could be non-business, could be any course, doesn't matter. So free electives is a little broader, whereas non-business electives is a little smaller. Once you've finished all your non-business electives, so if you had maxed all of these out already, then your non-business electives will overflow into your free electives. And if you had a minor or you put a minor on your what if report, you're going to see optional minor below. It's going to list what requirements you need for that minor. So somebody asked what courses are required for finance minor. You could go into your what if report, go back, create a new report, first line your major, second line your minor in finance, pull the report. You'll see that a finance minor requires 12 credits in finance at the 400 level. So that would be listed in the optional minor section. Any of the courses for your minor, though, still have to be completed within the 120 credits. So the courses for your minor are just going to fill elective spaces. So that's what this banner here is saying. If you have a business economics and law minor, it will fill 9 credits of these free electives. So if you what if with a minor, you're going to see this banner pop up in your elective section to tell you how many elective spaces will be filled by that minor. The other thing that's important to know is that minors are not required. So as a BCom student, if you have a minor, it's actually not going to show on your degree parchment, and it's not going to show on your transcript. What we use minors for primarily in business is for enrollment access to courses. So we have priority registration restrictions on a lot of our classes. If you have a minor in finance, for example, finance majors will enroll in finance classes first, then finance minors will enroll in finance classes, and then everyone else will get access to finance classes much later on. The next section you're going to see is the summary. So the summary is going to look at everything above, and it's going to make sure that you've completed all of those requirements. So the first part here is the 100 level course limit. This is what I was talking about earlier. Does not include your math, stat, econ, English. Those were pre-professional courses, and you were required to take those. This student has taken 6 credits, but the maximum that you can take is 21 credits. So this student would have 5 more courses remaining in their 100 level limit for the entire degree. If you register in more than 7/100 levels, or if you've taken more than 7/100 levels, you will see this banner show up here that your junior credits have been exceeded. If you get this error message, make sure to contact an advisor to see what you should do. Usually you're going to have to drop one of your classes. You're not permitted to take more than 7/100 level electives. Then you're going to see program residency requirements. As a BCom student in the general program, you're required to do at least half of your degree here at the U of A. So the first part here is 60 credits in courses taken at the U of A. You need to be able to complete that as part of your degree. Then within the 60 credits that are required here at the U of A while in business, of that, 45 credits have to be senior business courses to meet the residency requirements. Within the 45 credits that have to be senior business, 300 or 400 level courses. Within that is 15 credits at the senior level from your major. So if you're a marketing major, for example, you're going to need to complete 15 credits in 300 or 400 level marketing courses at the U of A. If you've never attended another institution, if you've only ever been to the U of A, then these 3 sections here are pretty much going to be completed as part of your degree requirements automatically. So if you just complete the courses above, you will complete these requirements. This is more important if you've come from another institution and you've taken a lot of business courses at that institution. You want to be able to make sure that we can give you our business degree, and to do that, you need to be able to take at least these business classes here. And then the 120 check. So this is going to show you, based on what you're currently enrolled in, everything that you have in registration is going to be included. So if you have spring summer courses, they'll be included here too. So this student had a total of 24 credits that they were enrolled in, meaning they had 96 credits remaining for their 120 credit degree. As an after degree student, your summary section is going to look a little bit different, but similar. Okay, and if you register in classes that don't fit your degree, at the very, very, very bottom, you're going to see the courses that are not for credit section. This will have an error banner that tells you you're registered in classes that don't fit and you can't take them. I think Myra just asked what happens if you go over the 120 credits. If you go over the 120 credits, first of all, we don't let you. We audit your registration. So we look to make sure students are only registered in the maximum amount of courses. If you register in more than that, we send you an email letting you know you have to remove them. If you don't remove them, we have to kick you out of them. So it can't happen, actually. So your online degree planner has all of those sections in it. Once you've graduated, all of those sections will be closed. Your entire report will just start smushing up every single time you register in a class. It closes a requirement, keeps closing it until you graduate. All right, so I realized that was a lot of information all at once. So I'm going to pause again. I'm just going to shut off my video here. I'm going to go through and answer some questions as well, and then I'll come back in a couple minutes. Okay. So some of you have asked some questions that we're definitely going to cover still for the rest of the presentation. So I'll try to flag some of those questions as we go through too. Okay, so first thing you want to do if you have not already, in order to register in classes, you will need to accept your offer on U Alberta Launchpad. So you're going to log into Launchpad, scroll down to the form section, click on the reply to offer form and select accept. If you've recently accepted your offer, it does take a little bit of time for U Alberta Launchpad to talk to Bear Tracks. So it can take 2 to 3 business days. If it takes a little bit longer than that, that's pretty normal. It does just take some time because we're doing so many missions right now for that information to be transferred. If after a couple business days you're still not seeing the information in Bear Tracks, email us at ugrabbus@ualberta.ca and we'll check into it for you. But next, you're going to want to make sure that you change your program code. You will only be able to do this if you've accepted your offer and you've waited those couple days. And you only need to do this if you've previously attended the U of A. So if you've never been to the U of A before, your program code's automatically going to be at business. So to do this, on the left-hand side, you're going to click Change Program. You have to do this for both the fall and the winter term. So you're going to go in for fall first, and then you're going to go in for winter. So just make sure you're doing it for both terms. Okay, so Sean Rogers was asking about cohorts. Here's the cohort program. So cohort, if you remember earlier, some of you were cohort students, some of you were non-cohort students. If you're in a cohort, that means you're in a group of approximately 65 students, and you're going to take the same 6 cohort classes in a set timetable together during the first year. So the courses you're going to take in your cohort timetable, if you're a cohort student, are the 4 listed for fall. So management science, marketing, accounting, and biz. And the 2 courses listed for winter, finance and SMO. If you're an international student, you can also take Biz 202 instead of Biz 201 if you wish. You would just slot that into your cohort schedule, no problem. There are 7 different cohorts. So in the cohort section of your report at the top, there's going to be a link to submit your cohort preferences. When you submit your cohort preferences, we're then going to send you an email that says you've been assigned to such and such a cohort. Okay, so you're going to look at those timetables. You're going to tell us which ones you like the most, which ones you like the least, and then we're going to try to assign you to one of your top 3 choices. Not everyone's going to get their first choice, unfortunately, but we try to do our best to give you the best cohort based on your preferences. Once you get the email for the cohort assignment, you can proceed forward. Okay, so again, this was the cohort, non-cohort section. Go in and click those links on your what if report in those sections, review the schedules, or if you're a non-cohort student, you're going to click that link there. It's going to show you which sections of those classes listed, management science, accounting, marketing, biz, finance, and SMO. It's going to tell you which sections of those you can enroll in as a non-cohort student. So you're going to send in your cohort preferences if you're a cohort student. If you're a non-cohort student, you're just going to worry about taking any of the remaining introductory business classes at whatever time works for you. Now, so you're going to go in and build your schedule. So after you've been assigned to a cohort, then you're going to add the cohort classes for your assigned cohort first. If you're a non-cohort student, you're going to register in any primary core classes that you have remaining first, and then any secondary core on top of that. If you've been admitted on probation, you could also be considered a non-cohort student. So if you've been admitted missing math or stats or econ or something like that, you might be a non-cohort student, and therefore you'd first be registering in any of the pre-professional coursework that you have remaining first, and then in anything else that you need for your primary core. So I think Emma had asked, Emma had said she was a non-cohort student and she wasn't sure why. That might be why. If it's not, send us an email and we will let you know why you're a non-cohort. I think someone else was asking about Stat 252. Stat 252 is an equivalent course to Management Science 312. So if you've taken Stat 252, you do not have to do Management Science 312 as part of that cohort schedule. Someone else was asking about they don't understand the cohorts. If you click the link to review the cohort schedules, it's going to make a lot more sense to you what a cohort is, because it will show you the 7 different schedules that you'll see. Okay. All right, so Now that you've been assigned a cohort, or you figured out if you're a cohort or a non-cohort student, you need to know what to register in for your first year. So first things first, you're going to register in all this primary core, like I mentioned. If you're a cohort student, you're going to be registering in all of these automatically. Then you're going to fill in your winter schedule with a few of the secondary core courses. The maximum number of courses you can take in each term is 5. So you'll notice there was 4 in the cohort schedule for the fall and 2 in the cohort schedule for the winter. You can register in a maximum of 5, so you can add 1 elective to the fall and 3 to the winter. To the winter schedule, you might want to add some of these secondary core courses. Register in a few that interest you the most, because these will be prerequisites for some of the higher level electives that you might want to take. And you can take a few non-business electives too if you have room. I do not recommend that you take 5 business classes in one term. It's better off if you can take maximum 4 business classes and an elective. Some students will also opt to just take 4 classes per term. It's very, it's not an easy semester for your first year. So you're going to want to try to balance it out as much as possible. And if that means taking 4 business classes and just 4 business classes in your fall term, then that's fine. Okay, so now when you're looking at some of the courses for registration, business, we have a lot of class notes below it. So you're going to want to read those every time you're going to register in a class. For example, Business Law 301 has what we call year restrictions. So it's not open to first and second year students. That means that you can only enroll in it until third year. So you'd read the class notes, you'd see that. If you try to enroll, it's going to give you an error message. Anytime you get an error message when you're trying to enroll, go back, read the class notes section, because it probably answers why you can't enroll. The other notes that we will have is priority registration. Priority registration in courses is restricted by major and minor. I mentioned that earlier. So if you have a finance major, for example, you're going to be able to enroll in finance classes first, then finance minors, then everyone else. So just check the dates below if you're registering in any higher level courses at some point in your degree. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, cohorts. So if you've already submitted your cohort preferences, we are in the process of assigning cohorts right now. You will be getting an email from us sometime this week to let you know what your cohort is. Once you get that assignment, then you can add those things to your schedule builder and enroll in your enrollment date. Most people's enrollment dates aren't until next week, so just wait for your cohort assignment, which should be coming this week. Cohorts are assigned once per week. So if you have not yet submitted your cohort preferences, you can expect probably a 5 to 7 day turnaround. If you're a cohort student, though, you do have a guaranteed seat in your cohort classes, so you don't need to panic that you're not going to be able to get into those classes. It is guaranteed once we assign you that you will be able to enroll in the classes for that cohort. Okay, so back to cohort, non-cohort stuff and the class notes. If you're a non-cohort student, you're going to click the link in your report to tell you which classes you can enroll in, but it's also listed on Bear Tracks. So this Accounting 311 course, the seminar is restricted to non-cohort students. So if a cohort student was to try to register in this, it would not let them. In Bear Tracks 2, if you click the class number to the left, it's going to open up a box that talks about the course itself, the description, and at the end, it's going to list the prerequisites. The Faculty of Business does not waive prerequisites on our courses, so you do have to make sure that you complete the prereqs before any of the other coursework that you're going to take. Okay, so some tips and tricks. Sometimes students are wondering, how do I fill my schedule? I have this cohort schedule you've given me. Now I have all these breaks and gaps. I want to add courses, but I can't find something that fits. So to do that, if you go to search for classes on the left-hand side and you click additional search criteria, so select your term, leave everything else blank, uncheck the show up in classes box, additional search criteria. And then you can select a meeting start time. So you can say, I want to find all courses that are offered from noon till 1, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example. If you click search, this is going to show you every class that's offered at that time. So then you can sift through. If you're just looking for an elective, that's a good way to find one. Sometimes free electives is just so wide open. I think someone had asked, why, what would be an example of a free elective? Free electives is literally anything. Like it could be a PAC class, it could be a sociology, a psychology, it could be another business class, it could be an accounting, it could be whatever. Any class offered at the university is considered a free elective. So it can be kind of overwhelming because you have so much choice. This is one way to narrow that down. Which might be interesting right now is how to find online classes. So there are some courses that are offered for spring, summer, for example, for next fall, that are offered online as the traditional format. If you want to find these, you would go to Mode of Instruction Internet. If you leave everything else blank, just put Mode of Instruction Internet and click search. That's going to show you everything that's offered online. All right, so next you're going to register in your classes. So on your enrollment date, your enrollment date's found on the right-hand side of Bear Tracks. After you've accepted the offer on Launchpad, you've waited a few days for that information to get into Bear Tracks. You've changed your program code to Bachelor of Commerce. Then on your enrollment date, which will populate on the right-hand side of Bear Tracks, you'll enroll in your classes. Okay, make sure you set your alarm. It's 7 a.m. on your enrollment date. Go to your schedule builder and click enroll. If you've been admitted on early admission, you're going to be getting a final admission offer from us in May or June as soon as we get all of your grades in from the winter courses. If you have been admitted on early admission, you're going to want to make sure that you check your offer letter in your Alberta Launchpad to make sure that you've completed all of the conditions by the end of this winter term. Okay, so I'm going to pause again. There's a lot of questions coming in, so I'm just going to go through and see if I can answer some of them. Okay. We're also going to save this chat after. So if we notice after the chat's over that we haven't answered one of your questions, because there are a lot of questions coming in, check your email. We'll give you an email response to your question. Kevin Willianto asked how to register in Biz 202. All you have to do is put in your schedule builder, add it that way. It's just like any other course. There's no restrictions on it. Anyone can enroll in it. So you just, if you're a cohort student, don't put the Biz 201 in your cohort schedule. You're going to register in Biz 202 instead. Mark's worried that his telephone appointment won't be long enough. Mark, we can take as much time as we need. If you are assigned a cohort, yes, you are obligated to register in all of those courses for those assigned times. The secondary core courses are a must. You have to complete everything that's in that what if report. All of those classes have to be completed in order to graduate. The enrollment date on the right-hand side should be under, it's literally, it's along the sidebar. There'll be a bunch of boxes. One of the boxes is enrollment date. I'll bring up my Bear Tracks and see if I can show you. Yeah, so it's under financial holds, it's under the search for classes button, it's under your ID number. So below that, you'll see enrollment dates, and it will say you may begin enrolling for winter term 2021 and fall term 2020 on such and such a date. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a few links here. Like I said, if we haven't answered your questions, we're going to go through the chat. We'll send you an email to whatever email address you've signed in with. So some links that you're going to want to bookmark, like I mentioned, is the current student page. It's going to have a list of the majors that we offer, as well as the scholarship application form. So I'm just going to open that now for you so that you can see that. Okay, so this is the current BCom student page. This is where you would book an appointment with us. And this is where you would change your major or minor. So if you've applied with a major and you don't want to keep that, or you're not really sure, you do have the opportunity to change your major or minor. You have the first opportunity in September. You won't be a BCom student technically until September. So September will be your first opportunity. And then in January, you go in, you complete this Google form. So it's pretty easy. As long as you have room in your degree, we will allow you to switch. Then when you click Explore Our Majors on the left-hand side, it's going to show you all of the majors and minors that are listed and available. If you are an after degree student, you can only minor in business minors. If you are a BCom general student, you can have a minor outside of business if you wish as well. You would just have to meet the requirements in the calendar for that minor. The majors are listed. So if you're in accounting, if you click the words accounting, it's going to take you to a page that talks about the accounting major a little bit more. There's some links on the side to take you to some of the designations. So if you're looking at doing CPA, you want to click CPA Alberta, look through that information, make sure you meet those requirements in your accounting degree. And then we've also got the career opportunities listed here. So if you were planning on being an accountant and you wanted to look up on a job site what jobs are requiring accounting majors, you could go and search for that there. If you click the four-year link beside accounting or beside whatever major you're looking at, that's going to take you to what we call a flowchart. So this is identical information to what was in the what if, it's just in one page. So sometimes the what if report can be a bit overwhelming because there's so much information in it. If you go into these flowcharts, you can see it all in one page, all of the courses that you're required to take. It's got all the same sections as your what if report did. This would be a non-business elective. This would be a free elective. Senior accounting requirements, right? That would be your major requirements. Your primary core courses, there are these 4 courses in the fall, 2 in the winter. Your pre-professional. So it's the exact same information. It's just another way to view it. Some people like this because you can print it out, you can write on it, you can fill in all the courses you're planning on taking. And then what I would just encourage you to do is use this in conjunction with that what if report to make sure that the courses that you're putting that you think are non-business electives truly are. You'll go into your what if report, you'll see, oh yeah, it is. It's filling that spot. Okay, so that's just another way that you can plan out the degree there. If you're an after degree, you would click the AD link. It's going to show you your flowchart. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go back to the presentation here. The next link in that presentation is the course catalog. So in business, we actually post all of the course syllabi for any of our business courses online. So when you click that catalog link, I'm going to send you the presentation, so you'll be able to click all these links on your own at the end. You'll see catalog. So if you're looking at all of the OM classes, if you're like, what the heck is OM? Click OM. You can click the little arrow to open a course description and the prerequisite, but that doesn't really give you a lot of information, right? So if you want to know more, do I really want to take this class this year? Should I take it next year? I don't know. Click the course page, scroll down to view past syllabi. Then you can download the syllabi for any of these courses. So you've all seen a syllabus. It's going to show you how the course is evaluated, what assignments are going to be required, how much work is going to be needed in the course. And you can do this for every single business class that we offer. Another one of the links is to the U of A calendar. So you're going to want to make sure that in the U of A calendar, you look through the BCom section, make sure you're completing the requirements as stated in there. It's got all of our rules and restrictions, regulations, reexaminations, deferred exams, things like that. There's also important dates and deadlines that are found there. And then the link to change your major or minor, which I took you to from the current student page. So I'll send out the lecture slides for this so that you'll be able to click on these links. I'll also be sending out the presentation as well. So if you missed anything, like we went really fast, we only have an hour for this. So if you missed anything, you can always go back to that. But I just want to close with thank you so much for listening today. Thank you for taking the time out of this crazy world right now to come and look forward to what you're going to be doing in business in September. And we're so excited to have you. Welcome to the business family. It truly is a family. So if you have any further questions, you can always book an appointment with us through the link. Like I said, we're going to be adding more appointment slots, so look for that. And you can email us at ugradbus@ualberta.ca.